Of course, Roch Kubatko is covering every moment of Orioles spring training. Of course, he had a chance to go to Lake Buena Vista, Florida today to watch the Atlanta Braves and the Orioles. Of course, you can check him out on MASNsports.com for complete details of the game. But Roch, as you join us right now, let's talk a little bit about Wright and Wilson early on in the outing. What were your thoughts and what did you see?
Well, Wright was especially impressive. His fastball was hitting 96. Which I asked him, is that important this time of year? And I thought he was going to say, I don't really think much about velocity or worry about it. And he said, yeah, I mean, it's important. I mean, because he wasn't looking at the radar gun, but the radar readings. But, yeah, it's good to know that he had his fastball working for him. And he felt good out there. He gave up the one hit, a double to Freeman, and a couple strikeouts. Struck out Nick Markakis. And then the second inning, they didn't get the ball in the infield against him. So he looked good. I mean, I think with second inning, he had like 8 pitches, 7 strikes. So they were happy there. And Tyler Wilson, got out of a little bit of a jam. And, his throw was hard. I think at one time I looked up, he was hitting 91, 92, whatever. But it was good enough. And again, I think guys are just excited to get out here and play what for them felt like a real game, even though it's a grapefruit league game. At least it wasn't a, practice. It wasn't inter-squad. And it was, it's low 80s today, which we were dying in the press box. We're in the first row. We're baking in the sun. But the beat crew for the Braves sit in the second row. They're the smart ones. But the players loved it. They loved the heat and this atmosphere. They were thrilled today.
Roch, what did Mike Wright and Tyler Wilson, each of them, learn from last year? How are they going to be different pitchers going into spring training? What were they going to work on?
I think it's just more about it, just getting more experience. I mean, Wright had those 2 really good starts early on. 14 the third scoreless, and then kind of felt like some guys might have caught up with him a little bit, and they make adjustments, and it's time for the pitchers to make adjustments. And really, it's just getting their feet wet, in this case. So I think it's just getting the experience, getting more innings under their belt, and like a guy like Wilson, to get a little bit of a jam and get out of it was good for him. So I think it's just more of that. It's just getting innings, and that's why Buck wants to run him out there early.
Hey, Roch, how about some other important things that were going on there? How about Hyun Soo Kim? He had a couple at bats today. What'd you say?
Yeah, he went 0 for 3, a couple fly balls, I believe, and a ground out. And he said that he felt he was nervous today. He admitted, and he thought it threw his timing off a little bit. He said he was thinking too much when he came up to the plate. He was thinking too much about the pitcher's movements and wasn't just relaxed and reacting. And he thinks that affected him, and he vowed to do better. He only had one play in the field. Przynski hit a line drive right at him that he caught when there were 2 on and no outs in the fourth. Chris Lee got a little bit of a jam and got out of it. So he wasn't really tested that much. So, again, it's kind of a learning experience for him. It was his first game, and he had a little bit of a cheering section here, some fans with flags from Korea, which is kind of cool, and he noticed that. And Buck said he kind of took it in the moment, too. I mean, it's one spring training game, but you realize the significance of it for him. I could see he was disappointed he didn't do better, and he said that. When I said, was it nice just to get one under your belt, the first thing he said is, I wish I had done better. But, again, he had a case of nerves, and that shouldn't be the case tomorrow. He's going to probably start again, and, he's going to get a lot of chances. Buck's going to, those great pants aren't just going to be on a hanger. He's going to be on quite a few road trips, and, of course, home games as well he'll be playing. So he'll get plenty of opportunities to get more comfortable and more acclimated. This is a process for him.
Roch, Christian Walker, 2-run homer plus a sacrifice fly. Does he have any chance, you think, to possibly make this club?
It would be a long shot. I would think he'd have to have an injury, which obviously we're not rooting for, but I think that would have to happen. But it's nice to have that kind of depth at first base with him and with Trey Mancini, at least right now, appearing to be ticketed for AAA, and then they'll figure out whether it's going to be a first base DH type thing, if Walker's going to play some outfield, which they talked about maybe in Norfolk. But he looks a little bit slimmer and just seems more comfortable and more confident when you watch him and you talk to him. And Buck has noticed that. He just seems more settled right now than he did last spring. And he's always driven in runs. I mean, that's kind of his calling card. And when you see guys on base, he usually is able to drive them in. That certainly is what happened today. So Buck's intrigued by him. Like I said yesterday, I think he kind of got the sense that some people might have forgot about Walker because everybody's focused on Mancini. And also, of course, Davis with the 7-year extension. He's kind of like, don't sleep on Christian Walker. He's a guy who was our player of the year in the minors in 2014, and he's a guy that's drawing interest from other clubs. But, yeah, he looked good today. And, again, he's a guy who will drive in runs for you.
Roch, what about Ryan Flaherty? Went 2 for 3 today with a solo home run.
Yeah.
What's going on with him?
He had a single and a home run to left field. And it's funny because before the game, he was talking with Nick Markakis, and Nick told him, hey, don't forget that there's a left field, too, which, of course, is Nick's specialty. He's taking the ball the other way. And it's kind of his way of jabbing at Ryan a little and reminding him, you'll have to try and pull everything. So, of course, Ryan turns around and singles into left and then hits a home run to left field. And he said, I told Nick I didn't drive 2 hours to watch you ground balls into left field, which Nick ended up doing. He had an opposite field single. But Ryan's seeing the ball pretty well right now. We were teasing him about it because he had 2 hits in the inter-squad game. Granted, an infield hit that slammed off, I think it was Chaz Rowe's knee, but then he also had a bunt single in the inter-squad game, and then players jokingly trashed his locker afterward. He's like, you're not supposed to drop a bunt down in an inter-squad game. But and then he has 2 hits today, so he's actually swinging the bat pretty well right now.
Roch, for fans that haven't had a chance to check out your blog before the game, you were talking a lot about Chris Tillman. Give us a little update of what you see from Tillman so far now.
Yeah, I mean, the news was good today. Again, we checked in the morning, and he said that, again, the hip felt good. Then he went and threw a bullpen session. I think it was 25 throws, amped up the effort as he was going on. And he said he didn't feel any pain at all. He joked that he threw a no-hitter. But Buck said they were still scheduling a cortisone injection today. Supposed to be this afternoon around 2 o'clock, just kind of precautionary, even though he's feeling better. They really want to stay ahead of this thing, so they were going to do that. And then they're hoping that Chris would pitch next Wednesday or Thursday, which would be I think it was the 9th or the 10th, against the Phillies or Yankees. And I think he would start one of those games and Gallardo would start the other one. So they're really slow playing him, considering initially we thought he might start this Saturday in the split squad game at home, but now they're pushing him further back. But everything's good. Buck said he watched him throw. He stayed back to watch the bullpen sessions before he came here. Said Chris looked good. He felt great. I checked on him. He said didn't feel any pain at all, but they still were planning on giving him that injection.
Roch, as always, we appreciate your information and comment. Look forward to talking with you throughout the entire spring training and checking out on MASNsports.com.
Thanks. Is Mel still reading the blog?
I had to correct myself. I read all that stuff yesterday on MLB.com.
And there's a walk-off. Late drop. I'm gone. Bye, guys.
He was practicing that for a day.
Yeah, Roch, I was 1 minute too late on that yesterday.
Roch Kubatko there.